Question 1. In what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? In the beginning of the trailer, we used the screen to say it was appropriate for all audiences. This follows conventions of a movie trailer and makes it look more professional. The clip then goes straight into our production logo. It's often conventional to show the logo of the film companies or majors which provided the funding, so by following this, our trailer appeared more professional. The first scene starts out with the main detectives talking about attacks. Introducing the main detectives in the first scene and starting with dialogue is common in trailers. This also works well to set the mood of the film and comes in well with the soundtrack. In the next scene, we show the attacks previously spoken about taking place. Throughout the whole trailer, the identity of the main antagonist is barely shown. Not showing the face of the villain is another convention we followed, and by doing so we create a sense of mystery over his identity, which we believed would be a good way to arouse the interest of our viewers. A hidden face also connotes danger, because unknown things are generally feared. The trailer's pace begins to increase as the shots get more dramatic. This is helped a lot with the build-up of non-diegetic sounds used with the soundtrack, which creates a lot of tension. The trailer finally ends after a chase scene with the main protagonist and one of the main antagonists, with the last scene showing the camera looking up through the barrel of the gun and the screen changing to a coming soon title block. Ending the trailer on a cliffhanger is a convention which we followed, as we thought it would be very important to end the scene with high suspense. Finishing on the release date was also a convention we used to not only make it look more professional, but also this is some of the most important information about the film. Therefore, putting it in the place where the viewer's emotional arousal would be at its highest would make it more memorable for anyone watching the trailer. Typically, the conventions of a crime thriller are police, thugs, violence, guns, drugs, and gangs. We decided to use all of these conventions to make sure the genre stood out and was clear, as we wanted the trailer to look as professional and realistic as we could make it. This also allows our trailer to follow Steve Neal's theory of repetition and difference. By following all these conventions, we made a movie which is typical of the genre, giving the audience a preconception of what the movie is going to be about. Lastly, we followed some of the conventions of characters by having a main protagonist fighting a main antagonist. This can be linked to Vladimir Prop's theory of characters, as we have the idea of good fighting against evil and a hero fighting against a villain, both of which are clear. We also have some helpers in the form of secondary detectives and the prize, which is in the form of the warrant that the police are trying to get in order to catch the villain. Our trailer also breaks some conventions. When it came to the characters, although we followed some of the ideas in Vladimir Prop's theory, there are also many we didn't follow. Firstly, our movie does not contain any female characters, which breaks the convention. Although we had the opportunity to add a female character, we believe that we did not need to include any women, as our trailer mainly focused on action, where we followed the stereotypes of men being stronger, more aggressive, and therefore better suited for a thriller. Another convention we decided to break was using a soundtrack throughout the whole trailer, without breaking it up. Most trailers would use part of an original soundtrack and stop it in parts of dialogue, or use more than one song. However, we decided to use one song throughout. Despite the fact the non-diegetic music is a shortened version of the soundtrack, there are no breaks for dialogue, which is not common in trailers. This is a convention we chose to break because we thought it would help to make the tension increase as more layers would be added throughout the song, and it becomes heavier, making a build-up which we believed worked better with the whole soundtrack. When creating the magazine cover, we also follow conventions. The magazine features a picture of the main actor, whilst he is in character, which follows a convention. The actor is also not looking at the camera, which makes the audience wonder what he is looking at. The actor is in the costume he wears in the trailer. We thought it was important to follow the code of consistent costume, as it makes it easier for the audience to recognize the characters, and helps to brand them as well as the costume representing their personalities. The smartly dressed character connotes intelligence and sophistication. That allows the audience to already make a preconception of him as the good guy in this movie. The text used also follows conventions of a typical magazine front cover. The largest font is in the masthead, which is of a major film magazine company, and the second largest piece of text is of the name of the movie, which is effective because it makes the movie stand out, making it easy for people to see in shops and notice the movie from further away. As well as this, we added some other movies in text around the side. Following this convention in our magazine cover looked a lot more professional and would fit the typical look of a magazine front cover. We mostly decided to follow conventions when creating our magazine. Although it is good to break conventions, we didn't feel as though we needed to, and by breaking them may make our magazine look unprofessional. However, there were a few things we didn't include which a normal magazine would have. In order to make our magazine stand out, it had to be a little different. We did this by not including a background to the picture. Most magazines would use the location of the movie for the background. However, we thought by including no background, we would draw more attention to the character, which will make it more memorable for people. We also believe that having a white background will make the character seem innocent. This is nicely contrasted by the gun he is holding. This contrast will let people know the character is good but also dangerous, and this is something we wanted to bring across in the cover of the magazine. When making the poster, there were also conventions we followed. We wrote reviews given by newspapers. Following this convention will encourage people to watch the movie, as when they see it has been highly rated by existing newspapers, they'll be more inclined to watch the film. People seeing an expert opinion of something according to the Hovland-Yale theory encourages audiences to watch the movie. As we aim to attract the largest audience possible, it is important that we follow this theory. Another convention we decided to follow was the picture of the main actor, who is holding a gun pointing towards the camera. This connoted that he is ready to kill. People who see this will know that the movie contains action. This works well as it helps us to attract the target audience we are aiming at. We also followed the convention of writing the actor's name at the top. Adding known celebrities in advertising is also stated in the Hovland-Yale theory, which says that advertising known names and celebrities will draw in more attention to the product. Writing the release date on the poster was another convention we followed, as it is important to be consistent with synergy, so we did the same release date of the 15th of June, which we also used in the trailer. Lastly, we added a website for more information about the movie, for people who have seen the trailer and poster and are interested. This is an important thing to do, as it is a great way to sell the product even more, and with lots of things done online nowadays, it is crucial that we keep up with trends. Adding credits at the bottom in small writing also gave the poster a professional look. When people see the credits have been added, they will be able to defer that a lot of work has gone into making the movie from different organisations and people, which will make the movie seem better and more professional. When making the poster, we decided to only use one character. This breaks conventions because the poster usually focuses on the antagonist and protagonist fairly equally. However, we wanted the main character to stand out the most, as we believed having one person would generate more of an impact as there is less to look at. We also added a picture of smoke beside the main actor. Although this can sometimes be seen in movie posters, it is not usually a convention. Adding this represents a lot of things to the audience. The smoke is white, which could connote the innocence of the main character, which is then countered by him holding a weapon. The smoke could also represent danger, which is always present with him in the movie when the police are on this case. The use of the smoke's connotations gives the audience the impression that the movie is a crime thriller, as danger and weapons are both typically found in that genre.